even though I love frothy fun beverages, there's a time and a place for them, guys. Class is in session. Welcome to Macros 101. Alright, question number one, what are macros? Alright, so macros, protein, fat, carbs, everything that encompasses the food and in your body as well, because you know your body's made of carbs, fats, and protein as well. That's why we got to get it from food. Alright, so going through the list here, these are the recommended doses per day of what you should get here. Protein, 0.5 to 1.5 grams per pound of your own body weight. Fat, 0.4 to 0.6 grams per pound of your body weight. We're going to kind of round that to 0.5 to make it easy. And carbs should be the rest of your calories. We're going to tell you how to calculate your calories in this video, so don't worry too much, alright? One of the other questions though is, why should I track my macros? You know, like, what's the point? Why should I? Let me tell you why. Let's say you go to Starbucks, alright, and let's say you're not tracking your macros and you want to get your double fat latte mochaccino supreme with extra whipped cream. And you're like, oh, that's not going to affect my gains, right? Just kidding. It is. That's like 400 or 500 extra calories in a beverage form, right? Think about the better gains you can make if that was whole food sources as opposed to a Starbucks frothy fun beverage. And on the other hand, guys, let's say you want to bulk up, you want to make some gains. Let's say you're eating a certain amount of food today, you're not calculating that, you end up eating less than you actually are. This is from personal experience, right? I thought I was bulking. Nah, I was nowhere close to like what I needed to eat to bulk. So this is why I recommend macros, and it's why I recommend counting your calories as well, because if you have a solid list that you can be accountable for, then you can, you know, see the progress on a day-to-day basis and just make some gains, guys. Anyways, let's get on with the video. First things first, I gotta tell you guys about some body types. Tell you a little story about a family I know. Let's cut to it now. I'll tell you a story about the Morph family. We got three brothers here. We got Ecto here, who's the runt of the family. He's kind of skinny. Now, let me tell you about Ecto. It's really hard for him to gain muscle or fat, but he stays relatively lean. So I mean, they each got pros, they each got cons. We got Mezzo here, aka Mr. Olympia, because this guy, he can put on weight easily, you know? He's kind of got that ideal physique, you know, all the time, and it's easy for him to sort of bulk up and stuff. The other end of the spectrum here, we got Endo. Not making him out to be a bad thing. Endo here, he can gain weight easily, but he tends to hold body fat a lot more than the other two here. So maybe you're asking yourself, oh, which one do I fall in? I don't think I fall into just one of these. That's true, okay? Not anyone in the world fits into just one of these, alright? There's a spectrum here, a line. You may fall in over here, you may fall somewhere over here, and, you know, that's okay. But in order to properly make goals and achieve those goals, you have to sort of figure out which you are and then base your goals upon that. So let's talk about goals now. We got some common fitness goals here. We got cutting on this side, we got maintenance here, and we got bulking. Alright, these are in regards to calories here. So if you want to cut, I suggest, you know, take away about 200 to 500 calories off of your daily total. You want to maintain your weight here, go ahead and continue eating at your basal metabolic rate, which is your maintenance level. We'll talk about that later. If you want to bulk, I'd suggest about 200 to 500 increased calories on your diet. Now, we're going to talk more about the BMR now. That's going to affect every individual differently. Alright guys, I apologize for the poor drawing here, but I just want to get my point across. BMR, basal metabolic rate, that's basically the energy your body needs to sustain life. We got a guy lying in a bed here, so if you were to lie in your bed all day, this would be the amount of calories over here that your body would need to burn to actually stay alive. Now, it depends what you're doing in your bed, but that calorie can go up. Anyways, let's talk about how to calculate your BMR. Alright, so for BMR, we got four things to keep into account here. We got age, weight, height, and your gender. So let's just make up a guy here so we can figure out some macronutrient and calorie recommendations based on an actual human. So age, let's do 23. Alright, weight, he's going to be 160 pounds. Height, he's going to be 5'9". And gender, he is a male. Alright. Now, easiest way here, guys, just go online, BMR calculator. I'll leave a link in the description below just so it's easier for you guys. But I've already done the calculations here. Alright, what's up guys? So we got our example here. We got Mr. His BMR calculated with all of his information equals to 1,782 calories. Now this is his calorie requirements if he was lying in bed all day, just sustaining life. Now, you can't just use this number. You have to factor in the activity level of the actual individual and your individual levels. So let's talk about that now. So for a sedentary individual, so basically doesn't do much exercise, just sort of is living but is not strenuously working out, or has a strenuously working out or has a physical job, you'd multiply the BMR here, 1782, by 1.2. All right, lightly active, so you're doing about light exercise 1 to 3 times a week. You multiply it by 1.375. Move on to moderately active, so moderate intensity sports 3 to 5 times a week, 1.55. Very active here, so increasing the amount of effort, increasing the amount of days, 1.725. And extremely active, so you're basically got a physical job and you're working out on the side 6 to 7 days a week, 1.9 here. So you go ahead, you'd multiply whichever one of these affects you and applies to your activity level. You multiply that by your actual BMR here. So let's go ahead and do that for our example. Alright, so looking at our guy here, he's moderately active. We're gonna, 3 to 5 times a week he's doing moderate exercise, which is good if he's beginning or maybe he's getting back into fitness. He's gonna come out with a BMR of 2,762 calories. Now, this is the number, this right here is the number that he's gonna have to hit every day to maintain his weight at what he's currently doing actively. Now, let's go back to what we talked about before, which is with the goals. Now, he over here is at the maintenance level, all right? He's not gaining and he's not losing any weight here. So what you'd want to do here, if he was in the mood to cut or if he was in the mood to bulk. So let's say he wants to bulk up here. So we'd add about 200 to 500 extra calories on here. So anywhere from 2,962 all the way up to 3,262. So around there. And then to figure out if you guys need to increase, decrease your calories, do that for about a week or two. If you guys see increases in the scale, stay at that level. If you guys don't see the increases, increase your calories even more. If you're seeing too much weight gain, go ahead and maybe ease off, maybe go in 300 to 400 or even just to the 200 range, just so you're not putting on excess body fat when you're bulking. Alright guys, let's talk about the good part, which is the macronutrient distribution, like we talked about before. So we're going to make our guy, we're going to make him have just a BMR of 3162, okay? And we talked about the fat, we talked about the protein, and we talked about the carbs. So we said for fat, is we wanted to say about 0.5 per gram, grams per body weight. So at 160 pounds, that's about 80 grams of fat for our guy here. So for protein, we said 0.5 to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. So let's just stay safe. Let's go 160 grams of protein. And then for carbs, we just said the rest of the calories. Now, let's talk about calories. Fat, all right, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. Okay, 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, all right? And then the carbs is also 4 calories. Now let's do some math. So with our gram amounts and with our calorie amounts, we're gonna do 80 grams of fat times 9. Is we're gonna get, what is that, 720? I believe. Then we got protein here, we got 160 times 4, that's what? 640, I think, hopefully. Alright, we're going to add those up, that's 1360. Alright, then we're looking at this right here. What are we going to do now? We're going to do the actual calorie amount minus the 1360 from the rest here. That's going to come out here to 1,802 grams. Now you're asking, what does that even mean? All right, I need that in grams. For carbs, like we talked about, it's 4 calories per gram. So all you're going to do there is 1,802 divided by 4. That's going to equal 450.5 grams of carbs. Now, this is just a rough estimate, guys. Maybe you want to tweak your macronutrients. Maybe you think it's too many carbs, not enough protein. Maybe you want some more fat. These are just a rough estimate, but it's all about individual and how it affects you. So I mean, that's a rough estimate of how to do actual macro calculations. I'm going to come up with a next video on how to actually track macros, how to weigh your food, using MyFitnessPal and stuff, all that kind of good stuff. So if you guys like that, go ahead and give this video a like, maybe comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys got any feedback about the video, about the calculations. I can link some more videos, I can link some more calculators and stuff. Just any more info you guys need. That's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Here we go!